Maybe you're thinking about moving to South Florida, or maybe you've already decided to move to South Florida. Today, I'm going to talk about everything you need to consider when moving to our amazing area. So South Florida is the southeast portion of our state of Florida. Florida is an amazing state, but it's very, very different than the rest of the US. It's particularly South Florida. Our weather down here is quite different than the rest of the US. We have absolutely no winter. We have 12 months of growing season, and it's sunny all year long. One of the biggest things you'll notice is that we have lots of rain in the summer and it's much drier in the winter, and that kind of defines our two seasons. The wet season also brings the hurricane season as well. So a lot to consider with that. Obviously a lot of preparation, a lot of insurance, but it's something that we can definitely manage and something to think about if you're moving to the area. You have this climate here in South Florida, and one of the things to notice also about the climate is that you have these tremendous and beautiful rainstorms. That's a really big staple here of our weather here in South Florida. We don't have mountains, but we have these amazing cloud formations, big thunderstorms, lots of lightning, so it's definitely a show. Something to be aware of. Also, you always want to carry an umbrella in your car and kind of be prepared, because those rainstorms can come pretty fast and furious. So what do? Do you rent or do you buy? There's obviously advantages to each one. The positive side of renting is you actually get to come to South Florida, you rent somewhere, you check out the neighborhoods, you check out where you're going to send your kids to school, where you're going to go eat, where you're going to go hang out, and you get to discover other neighborhoods as you kind of live out the year of your lease. However, there's a lot of benefits to actually buying a property. When you buy a property, you build equity over time, and you actually get to have some ownership, which is really great. So buy or rent, definitely there's some positives on either side. It's really up to you. So what about lifestyle in South Florida? That is one of the key things that you need to look at when moving to the area. What's important to you? Are you looking for a specific area where great schools are located? There are definitely some communities and some cities that offer great schools. What about the beach? Do you want to live in a condo overlooking the ocean? Or do you want to be in an area that's like a city with lots of buildings and amenities nearby and restaurants and art galleries? South Florida has all of that and more. So that would be the next thing that would be considered when moving to our area. What is your lifestyle? So you've decided to buy. What type of property is the most important to you? So I'm going to talk to you today about 4 different types of properties. You have single family. Single family homes are great because you can have homes with a pool, on the water, or without. You really own the land, which is great. You can do a lot with your property. So a lot of people like to actually purchase a single family home because it just offers a lot of flexibility. You have some space in between your neighbors, really, really amazing. Some people prefer condos. So condos are great if you like to come and go. You don't want the maintenance of a house, you don't want lawn maintenance, pool maintenance, etc. What's also great about a condo is you have the community within your building. So you're actually able to get to know the front person at the concierge, get to know management, you get to know your neighbors, there's close proximity. Some buildings also do community events to get to know neighbors. So there's definitely a much bigger sense of community. And usually the condos are located in areas that are typically more walkable. You may also consider a townhouse. So a townhouse is great because it kind of has a feeling of like a single family, except it's a little bit smaller. You have townhomes that are typically about 2 stories. You have a small yard, less maintenance than a single family home, but have kind of that, boots to the ground feeling where you actually have a little yard and can kind of come out the front door versus a condo. Some people like to look into multifamily homes. So what's a multifamily? Multifamily would be like a duplex, triplex, or a fourplex. And that would be essentially you could live on the property, and then the unit 2 or 3 you can actually rent out to a tenant. So it actually helps to pay for your mortgage. So, those are kind of the different options when purchasing a home in South Florida. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is taxes. A lot of people move to Florida because it's a tax haven for income taxes. We have zero income tax here in Florida. However, we do have pretty hefty property taxes. So property taxes need to be considered when purchasing a home. Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach actually have tax calculators on the property appraiser's website. And it's great because you can actually enter the city that you're going to be purchasing in, the actual purchase price, and then you can actually put in some exemptions. So a great way to save on your taxes is to actually claim homestead exemption. What is homestead exemption? Homestead exemption means that you can actually claim $50,000 off your assessed value if you live on your property over 6 months. It's a really great way to save money and definitely something that should be looked at if you're planning on purchasing a property here. Our next topic is insurance. Insurance is critically important in South Florida. We are extremely prone to hurricanes and you must obtain insurance. It's a must here in South Florida. Especially if you're doing financing, it is a requirement for most lenders, actually all lenders that I know of anyway. So you definitely want to make sure that your home is insured. So that is going to be a pretty significant cost, and there's a lot of different things that need to be considered when looking at insurance, particularly with the single family. So for a single family home, having things like a new roof, impact windows and doors, things of that sort that really impact the outside structure will really lower and give you credits towards your insurance. So really, really important. If you're deciding to purchase a condo, what's great about condos is that the master policy for the condo association actually covers the exterior insurance policy. So there's actually a master insurance policy. What's great about that is that most of the time you will only have to get contents insurance for the interior of the home, which is significantly less. And that's why typically maintenance fees tend to be higher, and that's where you have a little bit of cost savings there. That's pretty much all we have to talk about today in terms of things that need to be considered when moving to South Florida. If you have any topics that you'd like to talk about with regards to questions here in South Florida and what it takes to move here, feel free to message below. And my name is Hector Valdes. I'm a real estate agent here in South Florida.